I'm thankful to the organization of Waves International and Waves India for giving me an opportunity for presenting for submitting my paper as well as giving this presentation. The theme of the conference is impact of Vedic wisdom on the world today. And the topic that I have chosen for presentation is application of Vedic sciences in sustainable agriculture, environmental engineering, and countering pandemics like COVID-19. Although it may appear that these are three different topics and three different subjects, there is one particular theme which goes through and through all these three topics, and that is actually the yajna. Now, first, I will start with the first presentation about the sustainable agriculture. Uh, yeah, this is these are some inspirational thoughts about inspirational agriculture, and I'm quoting basically the two sustainable inspirational thoughts. One from our past president APJ Abdul Kalam, and the other one is the description of Vinoba Bhave. The first APJ Abdul Kalam in his book Envisioning the Empowered Nation says that the first green revolution transform India to self-reliance from ship-to-mouth situation. The second green revolution will ship food grains and products to many nations. Now, this is a kind of visionary statement based on the modern development in science. And as a visionary, he gives the matrix along with this particular statement, and that is the biodiversity technology prosperity matrix, in which there are four segments which have been written. On the horizontal axis, there is the biodiversity rich countries, and on the vertical axis, there are technology rich countries. So technology rich countries are USA, Japan, France, Germany, UK, and biodiversity rich countries are India, China, Brazil, Indonesia, Mexico, and Malaysia. Now, you will find that this is the quadrant. This is the fourth quadrant in which there is no country. Now, this is the quadrant which is meant for both technologically rich as well as biodiversity rich countries. And here, there is a possibility for India to reach this particular quadrant. I mean, all these countries, particularly India and China, for them it is possible to reach this country and fulfill this thing. The next this thing is the description of agriculture by Vinoba Bhave. It is in Marathi, and for the sake of understanding, I will try to translate it into Hindi. शेती एक सांस्कृतिक नवनिर्माण करणारी सृजनशील जीवनशैली आहे. आनंददायी कल्याणकारी संस्कृती आहे. धंदा नाही धर्म आहे. I have not been able to make an equivalent translation in English, but in Hindi it would mean खेती एक सांस्कृतिक नवनिर्माण करने वाली सृजनशील जीवन शैली है. आनंददायी कल्याणकारी संस्कृति है. केवल धंधा नहीं है, धर्म है. So this is the philosophical or the spiritual statement about the description of her agriculture. Now, it is the Vedic sciences in which you will find the confluence of both the science as well as the spirituality, and therefore, this methodology which I am going to talk about, that is Chaitanya Krishi, is the one which will meet both the criteria of the science as well as the spirituality. Now, this is called as the Chaitanya Krishi Homa organic farming. Chaitanya Krishi, the word Chaitanya means primordial energy, cosmic energy, or pranic energy, and Krishi is agriculture. Basically, as far as the Chaitanya or energy is concerned, Nikola Tesla had said long time before that if you want to know the secrets of the universe, uh, uh, think about energy, frequencies, and vibrations. So basically, Chaitanya, if you want to understand, you will like to understand the frequencies, the energies, and the vibrations. Now here in Vasant Paranse in Homa therapy, our last chance says, heal the atmosphere and heal the atmosphere heals you is the basic philosophy. Agnihotra is the basic Homa for all Homa fire practices given in the ancient Vedic sciences of bioenergy, psychotherapy, medicine, agriculture, biogenetics, climatic engineering, and interplanetary communication. Uh, this is a diagram which shows the relationship between the Vayumandal or and the Yajna and all the three. So basically, the Yajna is related and it is having effects as three cosmic tiers, that is Bhu, Bhuva, and Swa. That is, it is related to the atmosphere, it is related to the planetary conditions on cosmos, it is related to the biosphere also. Uh, and Yajna has the effect, the performance of Yajna has the effect at all the three levels, uh, these levels. Now, this is one picture which a dumb artist had drawn, wherein he has shown the effect of Agnihotra performance on various things. At the sunrise, the various electricities and ethers come, and they are being with the performance of Agnihotra, they are broadcast on all the other things. It is also interesting to know that Masaru Emoto of Japan, what he talked about Agnihotra, he says that in Japan we believe in God, whom we call as Kami. Ka means fire and Mi means water. And both the elements are equally important, and I would not want to prefer one of them over the other. Water is H2O. O stands for fire, H for water. The chemical formula teaches us the balance of 2 is to 1. This means that fire is twice as strong as the water. Now, he has some beautiful expressions about Agnihotra. Agnihotra is the music for universal connection. Agnihotra heals the atmosphere. You heal the atmosphere and it heals you. Agnihotra provides all the nutrients to the plant. Now, this is very important to know that biosphere and in the agriculture, there are two spheres of management. One is biosphere and another one is rhizosphere. Biosphere, in the biosphere, photosynthesis, flowering, fruiting, and ripening happen. And in the rhizosphere, humus, capillary forces, and nutritious food provision is what happens. Now, plants take their insects from more than 70% from the biosphere. So basically, or the atmosphere, we call it. Now, Hugh Lovell, a multidisciplinary scientist and also a farmer himself, he indicates that about 95% of the inputs for the plant growth are taken from the atmosphere. Padma Shri Subhash Palekar, who is, propagating his zero budget farming, he puts it 98.5%. I regard it as something that over 70% at least the inputs come from biosphere. And performance of Agnihotra, homes, homas, yajnas, purify the atmosphere and create a protective shield for the life bioenergy sources to work for healthy plant life. And this is how the yajnas, Agnihotras, they help the healthy plant growth. In Homa farming, this is what is the layout. A resonance is created with an Agnihotra hut and Trembakam hut, and there are four cosmic pillars on four sides of the Agnihotra in the north, east, south, and west. Now here, Homa organic farming, I will quickly run through this because these are only the resonance points to be created. Performance of Agnihotra is required to be done. Then creation of resonance point is a most important factor as far as home organic farming is concerned. Then there is application of Agnihotra and Homa ash or Agnihotra ash to the plant, which is also there. Then bovine is divine. That means, it is basically integration of the cow family with the farm is important because cow gives different types of products like cow milk, the gomutra is there, then gomaya is there, panchagavya is there, Havan products and all these things are there. So basically the now we have seen earlier this particular there are panchasilas of the Chaitanya Krishi that we are following or practicing. This Vinoba Bhave description we have seen it earlier. Now there is a one Panchasila, one of the Panchasila is Tusta Bhavantu Kushaka Dhanadhanya Samanyita from Kushi Parashar. Let the farmers be happy, healthy, and rich. Uh, then another this thing which is coming from Gurudjana Namakam is actually Vishwam Prushtam Grame Asmin Anat. Now, this is the principle which is most important by which we say that for sustainable agriculture and sustainable development, village and local economy should be the focal point. And both biodynamic farming methods as well as permaculture support this view. We have experienced this during this corona period that there was a large exodus of laborers from metropolitan cities to their places, as well as there was a difficulty in getting the things day-to-day requirements for the people, both in the metro cities as well as outside. And now this is where this principle, this is the wisdom of the Vedic sciences, which says Vishwam Prashtam Grame Asminanata. That means for sustainable development, you have to have the village or the local economy as your focal point. Then there is one this thing is that there has to be a holistic approach and wholesome approach for production of food. First, you have to look after your soil. So there is a principle of healthy soil, healthy food, and healthy life. Uh, uh, Rudolf Steiner, the father of biodynamic farming, says that so long as one feeds on food from unhealthy soil, the spirit will lack the stamina to free itself from the prison of the body. And the other principle is Krishi Yajnana Kalpatam. That's all. Krishi Yajnana Kalpatam, which is actually the Yajna, performance of Yajna Agnihotra as a part of agronomic practices is what is meant by Krishi Yajnana Kalpatam. In effect, it is the Prano Yajnana Kalpatam and Yajno Yajnana Kalpatam. Now, this is the full integration, benefits of the full integration of cow family, dried cow dung and cow ghee for the Agnihotra and Yajna. Then biogas slurry, which is with the enrichment, you can make it for soil application. Panchakavya, which can be used for soil application as well as for foliar stage. Homa biosol, which is prepared with the Agnihotra ash water and other things is useful for soil application and tree pest as well as tree pest also. So this is what is these are the observations and results. We have seen that not only the production and yield and quality of the farm produce is improved, but also there is the contribution to the ecology in maintaining the balance of the whole ecosystem. And that is why this particular thing is very useful for sustainable development. Uh, One of the important features to be noted about this Homa organic farming is that honeybees love the Homa atmosphere. And when honeys are dying almost all over the world, the Homa atmosphere is very conducive for the honeybees. So therefore, it will help the pollination and it will help in increasing the productivity of the farm. Uh, Now, there are some proposed makeover changes which we have planned. That means there is a tier section, then the livestock improvement, composting unit, and all these components. Once these components are put into the game, particularly the use of solar energy and energy integration at the farm when it is done, the farm will meet the green farm concept and sustainability flower concept of the report. as per the UNOS report 2013, which is wake up before it is too late. Uh, there is a diagram which shows the dream farm connectivity. I mean the dream farm, the flow of the flow for the integration of the various energies, various this thing. There is a biodigester here. There are two biodigesters. This is second biodigester. One is biodigester, and then solar and wind integration is there. So all energy is basically integrated here. That is how it becomes as a dream farm concept where there is a full integration. Now, as far as our farm is concerned, to an extent, the partial compliance with the dream farm is made because from the cow family, we get biogas slurry on the enrichment of biogas slurry is for men. Panchagavya is also there, liquid organics are prepared and compost making is also there. That is an integration of cow family with the farm. And these are the energies that are giving you. Then integration of cosmic energy process through Agnihotra and Havan. Dry cow dung cakes and cow ghee are used and other ingredients like unpolished whole rice, medicinal herbs, samidhas and yajniya vrikshas are used and the cosmic energy integration is there. Biogas is used as a cooking fuel also at the farm. Use of solar energy will be solar energy operated pump and irrigation. This is what is proposed now and further integration possible of the solar and wind energy for cooling chamber, pack house requirement and small processing units. And there will be also eco-friendly and energy efficient house modification. Now, there is another concept of sustainability flower as per the report. Now, this as per the report, there are various aspects of sustainability. It is not just the basic four concepts which are required are economy, economical principle, then ecology principle, then spiritual and cultural principles. And all these principles have to be interwoven seamlessly for the purpose of the sustainability. And this concept of sustainability flower is used for development, management, as well as the assessment of the activity. Now, here in the sustainable flower concept, improvement in air quality is one of the criteria. So, by purification of atmosphere with the performance of Agnihotra, Havan, and Yajnas is achieved. Then, efficient and reasonable usage of water. Purification of water is done by application of Agnihotra ash purifies the water, and the utilization is through drip irrigation or micro sprinklers in order to minimize the usage. Then enhance and sustain the fertility of the soil. Here we have been able to increase this carbon content, organic carbon content of our soil from 0.05 to 4, almost 4%. And further scope of improvement is provided in fertility by application of Agnihotra ash, enriched biogas slurry, and Panchagavya. Biodiversity and organic seeds of higher quality. The biodiversity of proposed these yajnas and other vrikshas will be planted, but we already have existing biodiversity. The animal ensure very much cow family full integration has been achieved. That's how the farm complies with the sustainability power concept, and it is so to say an ideal model farm for the purpose of sustainable agriculture. Now, I come to the second part of my presentation is environmental engineering. And in the environmental engineering, I'll be basically talking about Parjanya Yaga. Parjanya Yagna. Now, Parjanya Yaga is a yajna which is prepared for the purpose of now in the environmental engineering, I'll be presenting basically the Parjanya Yaga. Now, Parjanya Yaga is, and also the topic will cover Parjanya Yaga, the science and technology of rainmaking from Vedic sciences versus the modern technology of cloud seeding. The term Parjanya Yaga in simple word means actually yajna performed for Parjanya or Varsha. Rainfall. It follows the principle laid down in Yajurveda, Nikame na Parjanya Varshatu.
Let there be nourishing rains as per our desire. You will have rainfall whenever and wherever you want by performing yajna. There are two types of Parjanya yajna, that is Nitya and Naimitic Parjanya yaga. Nitya Parjanya yaga is performed on a regular basis in anticipation of favorable rains in the coming rainy season. Usually this is a planned activity and it is planned during the transition period between outgoing and incoming Samvatsara, or that is the lunar year as per the Hindu calendar. That is the period between Phalgun Krishna Trayodoshi to Chaitra Shuddha Dvitiya, when the Shatataraka or Shatabhisheja constellation is in position in the zodiac. This is called as Varun Yoga. Now, Varun Yoga or Mahavarun Yoga is decided on the basis of the Tithi, which is actually the Phalgun, the Krishna Trayodashi. And if there is a Shatataka Nakshatra, then it is Varun Yoga. And if both the things come on a Saturday, then it is called as Mahavaruna Yoga. Now, here yoga is actually Muhurta, or the meaning of Muhurta is the auspicious time to perform or do an act or plan or organize an event. Since Nitya Parjanya yaga is a planned activity, it is usually a part of yearly long-range rainfall prediction for forecasting activity. The objective of this type of yajna is Sarvatrik Suvristi, that is overall timely, fairly, well spread and distributed adequate rainfall, neither excessive nor deficient during the coming season. Nitya Parjanya yaga is a planned activity basically, and it follows the forecasting principles while forecasting the rainfall as per the observation of atmospheric signals during the course of yajna. The forecasting is made, and for forecasting purposes, the theory of Varaha Mihir as laid down in Brihat Samhita is followed. Yes. Now, there is a Naimitic Parjanya yaga. This is a need-based Parjanya. As per Shastras recommend this to be performed Pushkaleshu Nakshatreshu Survishti Hetave. That means during rainy season, when a couple of nakshatras have gone dry and dry spell continues in spite of rainy clouds being present, the rainy clouds just get carried away with the winds. The lengthy dry spell continues and earth is desirous of good rains. That is Bhumi is Vrishti Kamu. Therefore, at the time, the Naimitic yaga is performed for the immediate rains. This Parjanya yaga is also for the duration of 5 days and 5 nights. The recitation of Parjanya Sukta is done for 10,000 times, and 1/10 of this for Havan, and it follows the process of Panchang Parasharan Vidhi, which is fivefold process of Japa, Havan, Marjan, and Tarpan and Brahman Bhojan. So it is basically, and the main oblations are made. The main Havir Davya is Lavala Samida, which are 6 to 9 inches stem pieces of nutgrass or Cyprus rotundus, soaked in cow ghee and cow milk. During the Havan process of Yajna, the water and the chemical constituents in the stems of the Lavala plant get evaporated, and cow ghee and cow milk act as colloidals to form nanoparticles to form cloud condensation nuclei, that is CCN. And the formation of clouds is facilitated when the water droplets in the cloud become heavier. The cloud precipitation takes place and it rains. The mantras recited also create a resonance effect as they contain the narration of the precipitation, and the recitation is done in a particular manner with rhythmic chanting to create and enhance the resonance effect in the atmosphere to cause a rainfall. Now, Naimitic Parjanya yaga is basically the water and the chemical compounds in the Havir Dravya get injected into the atmosphere and cause the resonance effect along with the colloidal nanoparticles of ghee, rhythmic sound vibrations of recitation of Parjanya Sukta to cause the process of evaporation, condensation and precipitation of clouds for the rainfall. The entire resonance effect is created during 5 days period Parjanya yaga with cloud condensation taking place around hygroscopic nuclei injected into the atmosphere during the Havan process. Usually it starts raining from after third or fourth day of Yajna, and culmination takes place on the 5th day when Purnahuti oblations are offered to the sacred fire of Yajna. In case of this Nitya Parjanyaga and Naimittik Parjanyaga, although the period of Parjanya performance, Havir Dravyas which are offered as oblations in the sacred fire and recital of mantras of Rigveda, Rigvediya Parjanya Sukta, all the processes are the same for Nitya and Naimittik Parjanyaga. However, the difference lies between the Anushthan or Sankalpa and the time when they are performed as per the Shastras. Nitya Parjanyagas are planned to be performed during dry period for Sarvatrik Survishti during ensuing monsoon, whereas the Naimittik Parjanyaga is performed during wet period for Tatkal Vrishti, that is immediate rains. There is Pravargya. This is one independent kind of yajna, usually performed during the Somayaga. The objectives of Somayaga are Suvrishti, environmental and ecological balance, purification of atmosphere, and establishment of atmospheric order. The performance of Pravarga is very helpful in Somayaga to achieve these objectives. In Pravarga, when it is performed, the cow ghee is boiled at a very high temperature in a specific earthen pot or container of a specific form and size. The pot is built with 3 tiers representing 3 tiers of the cosmos world as per the Vedic sciences, that is Prithvi, Bhu, Antariksha, Bhuva, and Jao, that is Swaha. And that is baked with a high perfection so that even with the boiling of cow ghee to a very high degree of temperature, it does not break. It is called as Mahavir Patra. Now, when the cow ghee is boiled in the Mahavir Patra, the fresh goat milk and fresh cow milk is poured into the boiling ghee, and that creates a kind of explosion of the injection of the nanoparticles of vapor into the atmosphere. In case of Nitya Parjanyaga, various experiments were carried out by Vedashram, and this Vedashram of Barshi, they have, a well-documented kind of project Parjanya, in which they had performed 2 sets of Parjanyagas. 5 sets of Parjanyas were performed for the sake of overcoming the shortage of drinking water, and for that purpose, 1 place in Orissa and 4 places in Maharashtra were chosen. 1 place in Orissa, Jagannath Puri, and other places in Maharashtra, Akola, Kasarwadi, Neera, and Narsinghpur and Pravati. Another set of 13 Parjanyagas was also performed, and this was performed as a part 2nd. For the purpose of assessing the success or failure of Parjanyagas, an expert advisory committee having experts in meteorology and astrometeorology were formed, and they observed the performance and results of the Parjanyaga. The observations and results of this project Parjanya in brief are as follows, or they were as follows. In the case of special experiment of 5 Parjanyagas, the rain conception signals were observed at all the places, and previous rain conceptions were strengthened. Rain delivery took place within 193 to 195 days of rain conception signals, validating the RCRD theory of Varamihar, and the Sankalp of Yajman and Patni was materialized in the following months of August and September, when all water reservoirs were filled to their 100% capacity at the places of Yajna as well as the surrounding areas. In the case of another set of 13 Nitya Parjanyagas, rain conception signals were observed at all the places. Sankalpa was materialized, and there was early onset of monsoon in Kerala as well as Maharashtra. The rains were good for early sowing of Kharif crops as well as for Rabi crops. And during Vishakha Nakshatra, there were excellent rains all over Maharashtra and the 13 places of Yajna. Now this is the in the current year, that is in March 2020, a Nitya Parjanya Yaga was performed on between 22nd of March 2020 to 26th of March 2020. And the Somayagi Shri Raghunath Kale of Vedashram Barshi and his team of Ritvijas, they reached the place prior to 22nd of March 2020. Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi had announced Janata curfew on the same day, and the team of Ritvijas got stuck up there. It was not possible to erect the Yajna Pandapa. Therefore, they decided to perform the Parjanya Yaga in Goshala itself. Yajna was performed from 22nd March to 26th of March, and the report in Marathi prepared by Sri Ketan Guruji is given, which describes the date-wise atmospheric changes that were observed during the time of Yajna. Now these are the Yajna, these things, the report and the Yajna performances. And here, these are the signals, atmospheric signals, which were observed during the course of Yajna. That is Reid Kimson Akash or space at the time of sunrise and sunset, and also some clouds being present. And the ants also, ants carrying their eggs to the safer places is also one of the signals of Parjanya or Yajna, Parjanya Yajna, and that was also observed during the course of this Yajna. Now we come to the Naimittik Parjanya Yagas. During the Suvrishti project of 2015-16, in all, 6 Parjanya Yagas, 6 Naimittik Parjanya Yagas were performed, and all of them were resulted in a good condition. The first Parjanya Yaga was performed at Latur, which is one important this thing. Now, at the time of reporting, it was only reported by me that the independent agency like SkyMet also reported the rainfall. No doubt there was a rainfall during the month of April at Latur. And the other thing that came to my notice was that this was also performed as a Nitya Parjanya Yaga during the month of April on Varuna Yoga. So therefore, in the subsequent Parjanya Yaga, it gave the results. Now the second Parjanya Yaga was performed in the district, Nainital district of Uttarakhand, for dousing of the wild forest fire. The forest fire scorched nearly 2,269 hectares of forest area, and it was reported. Now this experiment proved the utility of Parjanya Yaga as the tool of disaster management for dousing of forest fires. Then third, this thing was performed at Nashik, and this was a peculiar Naimittik Parjanya Yaga performed by the Purohits themselves for the purpose of augmenting the monsoon process. It proved at its utility as a proven technique for immediate rain and augmenting the process of monsoon. The other validation of Parjanya Yaga as a rain induction technique, this was the fourth Parjanya Yaga performed in the catchment area of this thing, and in the catchment area of Latur. Latur, as you know, there was a large, the scarcity of water was there during 2015-16. The Jalavahinis used to go there. That means, railway bogies were utilized for the purpose of carrying and supplying the water to the city. However, when this was fulfilled, when this Parjanya Yaga was performed, the Manjra Dam and the Manjra River, which provide the drinking water to the city, they got overfilled. So this is how this Parjanya Yaga at Latur was a very successful experiment of performing the Parjanya Yaga in the catchment area of the reservoirs, water reservoirs, the Manjra Dam in particular. Then fifth Parjanya Yaga was performed at Bhagamandala near Talakaveri in the catchment area from 11 September 2016 to 15 September. And this was also a successful Parjanya Yaga. immediate rains in the catchment area, in the areas of river Kaveri where was performed, and there were rains in the catchment area. The sixth Parjanya was also performed in the same catchment area of river Kaveri. However, although there were signals for present at the time of Yajna, it was not as successful as the earlier Parjanya Yagas. So therefore, out of 6 Parjanya Yagas, 5 were successful, very much successful, thus scoring the percentage of over 80%. Now, Naimittik Parjanya Yaga was also performed in 2019 from 9th August 2019 to 13th August 2019. There were no good rains at Latur and surrounding areas, and this was performed at Latur, again at Latur. In fact, as far as monsoon 2019 is concerned, it created almost 2 contrasting worlds for Maharashtra: wet Maharashtra and dry Maharashtra, or wet world and dry world. The Konkan and western Maharashtra, areas of Kolhapur, Sangli, Karad, Satara, were inundated with floods by excessive rains, whilst Latur, Marathwada and Vidarbha regions were completely dry, and Maharashtra government had made the budget of 30 crores for artificial rains, that's cloud seeding. Newspaper reports gave details of these 2 contrasting situations, and the financial losses due to these climate change situations have been of astronomical proportions. You will see here in the newspaper reports the dry Maharashtra and wet Maharashtra, that as many as 57 villages were under the water, were inundated underwater. Similarly, the glory of the sugarcane crop, which is which I would say is the sugar belt's icon, that was lost also completely due to heavy rains. However, on the other side, in Latur and so many other areas, there were drought conditions, and people were waiting for the cloud seeding activity to take place. So apart from the financial losses, suffering of people has been very problematic. Now, whilst the government were thinking about the artificial rains, a Parjanya Yaga was performed at Latur with great success. A detailed report in Marathi is given here. That is from 9th of August 2019 to 13th of August 2019. And, from the 3rd or 4th day onwards, it started raining. The Parjanya Yaga was successful. It started raining. And on the 5th day, there was no sight of the sunrise. And during the whole of the day, it was a cloudy situation. Then thereafter, on the 5th day, after the Purnahuti was offered, nearly it rained on the same day, heavily rained in the Latur and surrounding areas. And thereafter, for nearly 8 to 10 days, Latur and surrounding areas got good rains. Yes. Yes, so the Latur Parjanya Yaga was successful. Therefore, this 2019 experiment was also held at Latur, and that was successful. There are other persons also in India who have performed Naimittik Parjanya Yagas, and one leading example is of Vedic scientist of Arya Samaj Parishad is Dr. Kamal Narayan Arya, who has performed 21 Parjanya Yagas, out of which 17 have been successful, thus having a success rate of 80% and above. He has also written a book in Hindi entitled as Parjanya Vrishti Yajna, Vaidyanik Prayog. Of course, the methodology and processes described in this book and the methodology and the processes described in my report. My report basically follows the processes of Parjanya Yaga are as per the studies and practices followed by Vedashram Barshi. Now I come to the comparison between modern technology and of cloud seeding and artificial rains, that is Parjanya Yaga. Now, yes, the first point is about the equipment, instruments and accessories which are needed. In case of cloud seeding, by modern technology, special aeroplanes, radars, rockets, generators, guns, and weather modification stations are required with observatory equipment and accessories. In case of Parjanya, Yajna Mandap is required, Yajna Kundas are prepared, Yajna implements are used, Mahavir Patra as a container for the purpose of Pravarga is used, and other accessories are used. Now, if there is a Yajnashala having all the infrastructural facilities in the vicinity, that will be a preferred place. The materials which are used in the case of this thing are for cloud seeding purposes, silver iodides or chemicals which are used as flares are silver iodides, potassium iodide, dry ice, that is solid used. The main heavy in case of Parjanya is Lavala, that is Cyprus rotundant. Cyprus rotundant, which is samida of 6 to 9 inches soaked in cow ghee and cow milk. Cow ghee, cow milk, goat milk, and other Havir Dravyas are the this thing. Then observations on climatic conditions. The pressure of rainy clouds and presence of clouds is actually observed for the cloud seeding purposes by radar Doppler system, which in Maharashtra it is established at Aurangabad as well as I'm told at Solapur also, and tracing the rainy clouds and identifying the rainy clouds within a radius of about 250 kilometers. Naimitic Parjanya is recommended to be performed during rainy season when there are rainy clouds, but there are no rains and 1 or 2 nakshatras have gone dry and the land is desirous of having rains. Observation of changes in the atmosphere are done during the time of Yajna. In case of Nitya Parjanya, which is meant for good rains during the coming rainy season, that it is performed during Falgun Krishna Trayodashi to Chaitra Shuddha Trayodashi, that is on Varuna Yoga or Mahavaruna Yoga. Of course, for the purpose of comparison with the cloud seeding activity, it is the Naimitic Parjanya which is being compared with the cloud seeding activity. Now, the cloud seeding, the duration, it takes about few hours after identification of location of rainy clouds, and to start the rainy process, and it may take a few minutes only, within which it can be rains can start. In case of Parjanya, the duration is of 5 days and 5 nights, and recital of Parjanya Suktas of 10,000 times, and I mean the complete Panchanga Purusharan Vidhi is followed for the purpose of creating the resonance, effective resonance for immediate rainfall. Yes. Now, cloud formation and cloud condensation, precipitation, by injecting, in case of cloud seeding, by injecting chemicals or hygroscopic materials like silver iodides, dry ice or table salt, cloud conditions as nuclei, CCN, are formed and water droplets get heavier for the rainfall to start. There is no process to help formation or nurturing of the clouds in artificial rain methodology. In case of Parjanya, the entire process of Yajna is conducive for creating resonance effect for the purpose of nurturing and nursing the clouds. Condensation of clouds and cloud precipitation, for the purpose of that, CCNs are formed from the nanoparticles injected into the atmosphere, from the oblations made into the fire. The performance of Parjanya with Pravarga accelerates the process of cloud condensation and precipitation. Now, the area coverage. Roughly, the radar Doppler area system observes and identifies the location of heavy rainy clouds in an area of 250 to 300 kilometers radius. However, I mean, where the rainfall will be there, that in that surrounding area there will be rains. In case of Parjanya, the place becomes, the Yajna place becomes the epicenter for causing conducive resonance effect of clouds, condensation, cloud precipitation for immediate rainfall in the approximate area of about 200 to 300 kilometer radius. The successful Somayaga, wherein Pravargas are used, an area of about 350 kilometers radius is covered. A Parjanya with Pravarga may cover almost the same area for cloud seeding and immediate rainfall. One may say that at least an area of 200 to 300 kilometer radius will be covered. effectiveness, in case of cloud seeding activity, as mentioned in the Wikipedia, there is no statistically significant support to say that effectiveness of the cloud seeding is there. In 2003, US National Research Council released a report stating that the science is unable to say with assurance which, if any, the seeding techniques produce positive effects. In 55 years following the first cloud seeding demonstrations, substantial progress has been made in understanding the natural processes that account for our daily weather. However, there is no scientifically acceptable proof for significant seeding effects where significant seeding effects have been achieved. The cloud seeding technology is said to be, the success rate is said to be in the range of about 30 to 45%. The performance of Parjanya is not undertaken as a part of any national or state program. In fact, the government support is just not there for the purpose of performance of Parjanya. The success rate of privately carried out or sponsored Parjanya seems to be promising. That is, which is more than 80%. Vedashram performed something like 25 successful, of which 24 has been successful. And Dr. Kamal Narayan performed 21 Parjanyagas, out of which 17 were successful. So in all, overall, if you calculate, the success rate is over 80%. However, detailed scientific studies with involvement of IMD and central state governments need to be carried out in order to make these performances as rainmaking techniques of Vedic sciences as a part of national or state programs. Then purposes are different, basically for the purpose of avoiding drought conditions. That is the main purpose. And the cloud seeding activity is carried out for some other purposes also. Like in France and Spain, it is carried out for reducing rainfall damage to the crops. In Russia, it was carried out for after the Chernobyl disaster, to reduce the radioactive particles from clouds heading towards Moscow. In Germany, cloud seeding was to protect the crops. Now, in case of Parjanya, the basic objectives are of three types, which have been observed from the privately sponsored Parjanya that have been performed. To augment the process of monsoon and get immediate rains to avoid drought conditions is one objective. To protect and save the crops, both Kharif as well as Rabi crops. To enhance cloud precipitation in the catchment areas, to ensure water availability in dams, lakes, and other reservoirs. And third is one of its kind was dousing of forest fires as a disaster management technique was also experienced in case of one experiment which was carried out in Uttarakhand. Well, costs involved, when you compare the costs in case of cloud seeding are astronomical in nature. For example, the Maharashtra government, which planned during 2015-16 the artificial rains, as per the news report, paper reports, it costed them around 27 crores. And for 2019, for additional rain experiments in the same region, that is Marathwada and Vidarbha, the government had to provide something like 31 crores for the purpose of artificial rains. Countries having regional as well as national programs for artificial rains are spending millions of dollars. In case of Parjanya, one Parjanya costs 4 to 5 lakhs. Therefore, considering the success rate, it seems to be cost-effective remedial measure. However, the government should include these experiments in their national state budgets in order to evaluate its effectiveness. Now, impact on the environment and health. Some studies carried out indicate in case of cloud seeding that silver iodide can cause temporary incapacitation or possible residual injury to humans and other mammals with intensive and chronic illnesses. Impact on environment is being studied, as well as impact on this thing is also being studied very carefully. In case of Parjanyaga, the whole entire yajna process establishes atmospheric order and heals the atmosphere. It reduces pollution problems, and cow ghee, medicinal herbs, and Havir Dravyas offered as oblations to the fire have beneficial impact on environment and health of plants, animals, and human beings. R&D, continuous R&D projects are being undertaken by different countries in Australia, in China, as well as and R&D efforts projects are also need to be undertaken as a part of national or regional programs to validate the rain induction technique of Vedic sciences. IMD and Ministry of Earth and Sciences must take a lead in this respect for these experiments and provide for the budgets for performances of Parjanyagas as a rain induction technique of Vedic sciences. Well, that is it basically. Now I will come to the third part. Hello. Third part of the my presentation, countering COVID-19 with Agnihotra or Yajnopati. Here, the Vedic sciences have a proven tool or methodology of dealing with pollution problems and plagues and epidemics of all types, particularly as preventive care, and that is Agnihotra and Yajnopati as a part of day-to-day life. Astrality, if it is to be built, the astrality of any area or of the inhabitants of that area can be built up by performance of Agnihotra and Yajnas. The basic philosophy is heal the atmosphere, and healed atmosphere will heal you, is the fundamental principle of healing by Vedic sciences. Basically, I'm placing my reliance on Agnihotra and Yajnopati to deal with COVID-19 at least as a preventive care, in addition to the governmental guidelines of washing your hands and wearing mask and social distancing, etc. The research carried out so far indicates that one important research study was carried out, which indicated that pathogenic bacteria, genetic substances, and liberation of volatile compounds having potent pharmacological actions. That is what was reported. This study conceptualizes the principles of Agnihotra Yajna, and it was observed that offerings of natural elements to fire lit in the copper pyramid liberate various volatile compounds having potent pharmacological actions. And the concluding part of the research says, in the light of all the above facts, Agnihotra Yajna can be considered as a complementary medicine that removes the energy blocks in the meridians or nadis. In conclusion, one can say that Agnihotra Yajna is to realize life, which means letting incessant flow of energy through our body and mind system, as any blockages in this flow may cause disharmony and chaos in the system, thus leading to poor health. Although the ingredients are used and studied in Mr. Nayak's experiment are different from standardized ingredients in daily Agnihotra as recommended by Param Sadguru, the results, observation and conclusions are important from the point of Yajnopati for building immunity. Therefore, I am recommending to deal with COVID-19, in addition to daily performance of Agnihotra at Sadnova, Yajnopati also should be performed. This is basically Agnihotra. It's a daily. Agnihotra is a process which involves a preparation of small fire of cow dung cakes in a copper pyramid of specific size and offering oblations of 2 pinches of unpolished whole grain rice smeared with pure cow ghee into the fire, accompanied by 2 simple Vedic mantras. These are the sunrise and sunset. These are the mantras. Sunrise mantra is Suryaya Swaha, Suryaya Idanna Mama, Prajapataye Swaha, Prajapataye Idanna Mama. Sunset Agnihotra, Agnaye Swaha, Agnaye Idanna Mama, Prajapataye Swaha, Prajapataye Idanna Mama. So the resonance effect that takes place carries the purification of the atmosphere in which Agnihotra is performed. Therefore, You can perform this Agnihotra in your house, in your garden, or in your office, or wherever you are at the time of sunrise and sunset. And it will certainly purify the atmosphere in the surrounding area and give to this thing. The performance of Agnihotra at sunrise and sunset is the primary yajna. Through its effect, it captures the mantras, ethers, electricities, and subtle energies at sunrise and broadcasts them in the atmosphere for its purification. There is a textbooks, ethers and more subtle energies emanating from the sun extend all the way to the earth and produce a flood effect at those coordinates where the sun is said to rise. It is awesome. The flood enlivens and purifies everything in its path, destroying what is impure in its way. This torrent of life-sustaining energies causes all life to rejoice. At sunrise, the music can be heard. The morning Agnihotra mantra is the essence of that music. It is quintessential sound of flood. At sunset, the flood recedes. So basically, in case of the Yajnapathy, Yajnapathy is a kind of therapy in which the medicinal herbs are offered to the fire along with cow ghee. The cow ghee and medicinal herbs are offered to the fire, and as a Yajnapathy for dealing with COVID, I would recommend the performance of Trambakam Homa for about 15 to 20 minutes. And in 15 to 20 minutes time, you can have the Trambakam mantra oblations for about 108 times. The oblations to be offered in the sacred fire will be that of cow ghee, fortified with certain these things. Now, basically the cow ghee is fortified with certain havir dravyas, which contain the aromatic herbs, aromatic substances like kesar, kasturi, and strength-giving products like milk, nutritious products like milk, ghee, and sweet things like jaggery, sugar, honey, medicinal herbs like somalata. Dr. Kamal Narayan Arj, a research scientist of Ayurveda and Yajurveda, recommends the oblation of cow ghee fortified with following essential oils and substances for dealing with COVID-19. This formula, recommended by Dr. Kamal Narayan Arya, came to me through one of my contacts from Ghaziabad. The Amrut Havi is prepared, and this Amrut Havi contains the Amrut Dhara, which is Divya Dhara, cardamom oil, clove oil, cinnamon oil, malkangni oil, and almond oil. 10 ml of each of the oil is to be added to half a kilo of pure cow ghee, and the oblations are offered to the sacred fire along with the Trambakam mantra. Now, these are the various ingredients which are used. Now, these ingredients are basically essential oils, are antibacterial, antimycotic, antiviral, carminative, this thing, and antispasmodic also. And therefore, the fortified ghee is very useful for dealing with all kinds of bacteria, pathogenic bacteria, and viruses. Now, one more home remedy, which is basically to be prepared as a decoction, or which is called as a kadha, is a preventive measure for COVID-19. This decoction is made up of 10 fresh leaves of each, 7 to 10 leaves of adulsa, that is Athathoda vashika, parijat, and tulsi and bael, as well as lemongrass, with addition of approximately 2 grams of black pepper, pipli, then star spice, and suthi or dry ginger powder, cinnamon powder. All these ingredients and the leaves are boiled in about 1.5 to 2 liters of water to make it as a 1 liter of decoction, kadha, and keep it bottled. You can prepare a hot drink of this decoction by adding a tablespoon of preparation to 1 cup of tolerably hot water and take it with lemon and honey. You can sip this hot drink 2-3 times in a day. You can also add a tablespoon of this preparation to the vaporizer and inhale the vapors whenever you have cough and cold or you feel you're sneezing. Parijat has been found to be very useful in case of fever and joint, in cases of chikungunya. So these decoction will be helpful as a preventive measure as well as immunity builder when combined with Agnihotra and Tambakam. Thus, we have seen the entire topic of how Vedic sciences are providing the guiding principles for the purpose of our way of life. And basically, whatever Corona has taught to us to improve our lifestyle, to change our lifestyle, and to live in harmony with nature rather than in conflict with nature, these guidelines provided by Vedic sciences are very, very useful to the whole humanity. Thank you.